Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for October 27, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for education purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, so as usual, we will start off by taking a look at our calendar here. Big thing today, like we had talked about yesterday, was the ECB. So with ECB, the main thing that everybody was looking for was their asset purchase program, like we discussed yesterday. And so in terms of the interest rate, they kept it the same. No change there. Nobody was really expecting a change. But everybody was expecting a cutback in the asset purchase program, and they did not come up with that. So ECB has decided not only, actually, they said that so ECB kind of gave themselves flexibility in terms of extending the asset purchase program. So currently it's supposed to go till September 2018, but they have given them an option of extending that program. So whereas market was expecting that they would reduce that program, so they said that they're going to reduce it, but they will continue to reinvest. So what happens is ECB, so European Central Bank, goes and buys securities, bonds, and things like that in the open market, and so they're basically pumping money into the economy. And when they do that, so these bonds, they're debt. It's debt instruments. So once they come due, their maturity dates. So let's say they have a 5-year maturity date. So as the maturity dates comes due, so one of the things they can do is, one, buy less assets, so buy less bonds in the market. Another thing is that as the maturity date comes, they could just stop reinvesting that money. So let's say they have invested $1 million in purchasing a bond. Once that matures, they could just cut that off. But instead, they said they're going to keep reinvesting once it matures, they will reinvest it back in the markets. That's not good news for the market, because they were looking for ECB to cut back on that, reduce the purchases, and also once the debt matures, to actually cut that off, so not reinvest, so not stop pumping money into the economy. So that was a big letdown, because market had been waiting for this for a while, and they had said that, ECB had said that they're going to put a plan together for October. And here we are, and nothing, right, essentially. So that's bad for euro, and as a result of that, euro just dropped. So that's the current scenario as to what happened with the euro, why it dropped so much. So currently, like we have talked about this before, the market is being driven by central banks. So yesterday we saw the Bank of Canada, they kept their interest rate same, and as a result of that, and basically they said that they're not going to raise interest rates. They'll wait for the data to come. And now ECB, excuse me, sorry. And now ECB, essentially, they're not cutting back on their program. So as a result of that, both of those currencies were negative. We saw dollar CAD go up from yesterday. And today we saw euro drop. So that's what's going on. So this is where the fundamentals are driving the market. So this is a very good example of where the fundamentals are driving the market. So the technical points in the market will react to these fundamental news. So that's what's going on. So tomorrow, not much in terms of news. We have GDP numbers, advanced GDP numbers for the US. We do have the consumer sentiment number, revised number coming out for US as well. But other than that, fairly quiet on the news front. Oh, pound yen dropped quite a bit. All right, so let's start from the top here. Our technicals, euro, that's quite a drop. I was expecting it to drop, just was not expecting it to drop this much. So that's a huge drop for our euro. Big bearish engulfing candle. We have finally taken out this low that had been established at 1.1 680 level. We have not broken this all summer essentially, and now first time we have gone beyond that. Right now it is quite bearish, and we're looking for further move to the downside into the 1600 level. So 1.1600 level will be our target to the downside. And if you go take a look at this, so this is not even looking back. Normally I would expect a pullback and then have price drop, but this one is so strong right now. The market sentiment is so strong that euro is just looking bearish, and we're basically expecting next move to the downside here. So bearish on euro dollar. Pound dollar, we have filled this inefficiency. We had talked about this in our room. I had mentioned that it's filling it, so that is filled. So this is bearish as well. And we are looking for further move to the downside. The target here will be 1.3020 back into the bottom of this pin here. So this is looking bearish as well. And euro and pound tend to kind of move together. So both of these are influencing each other. Now, do keep in mind, we are coming into Friday. So a lot of times Fridays, we can see markets reverse themselves. So keep that in mind. And we are also coming into month end. So we are at the 26th here. So on Monday and Tuesday, we could see some reversal. So basically what happens with month end is the big funds, they need to book their profits, and the way they can book profits is by closing the trades, and they could initiate those trades back again at the beginning of the month. So that tends to create these reversal moves. So keep that in mind. If you see prices doing something strange, it could be weekend or month-end activity that's driving those. But right now, based on pound dollar here, we are bearish on pound here as well. This is where we are in terms of our 1 hour, and I'm looking for price to drop further. So we are going into support here. So we could see the price come back and test this level and then drop further. So basically we are looking at a further move to the downside, kind of like this is what I would expect. Price needs to break below this level. This inefficient move is now almost filled here. So we need to see a break of this level, pull back, and then a drop here. Aussie dollar here, bearish as well. A big close for the day. Aussie was another one that was fundamentally driven. We had RBA was not quite as, they were not bullish at all, actually. So central banks, like I said, are driving the markets. That's why we saw a big drop, and we're seeing continuation here. So looking for a further drop here. The next level target here would be 76.20, and beyond that, we're looking at about 75.80 level to the downside. So if you take a look at our 1 hour, it's holding below this pivot point level, and we're looking for a further drop. So right now, overall, market is quite bearish in regards to everything. So US dollar is strengthening here. And of course, we saw with New Zealand dollar, we have been bearish on this for a few days, and we are continuing on with that. Now with this one, we have to be careful because we are back into this April lows. So we could see a push back up in this. So if the price goes back up into the 69.12 level, about 20-ish level, that may give us a potential opportunity to sell. So I would be careful with this one because this was the first one that started kind of on the path to the downside. New Zealand dollar has been very weak compared to a lot of other crosses out there. So I would, we could see a push all the way back into the 69.12 or 69.20 level, and that could provide us an opportunity to sell. So for now, we are bearish on this. Dollar CAD, quite the opposite. Very bullish. We are back into this highs. Next target will be to the upside here, looking at about 130 level, which then we are back into this significant high. So we had a bullish candle close, another bullish candle close, looking for a further move to the upside. So this is basically the opposite of everything else. The US dollar has been strong, and we are looking for a further move to the upside in this one. This is where we are. Price has moved up. We could see basically a retest of this level. So we could see something like this and a further move to the upside. So overall, this is quite bullish. Euro pound, we are bearish, a very strong bearish candle close for the day, and looking for further move to the downside. The target here would be about 0.8800. So that's our, so the bias is to the downside for Euro pound. Euro Swiss, first we have seen a first real bearish candle close for this one. This one has been quite strong. We have had our trend line and price has been moving up, but now we are finally bearish on this. So looking for price to drop further. With this one, the target would be 1.1560 level. So this is where we are targeting. So this is bearish. Pound Swiss franc is an interesting one. So we've been quite strong, but right now it looks like it's dropping. But the candle close, from technical perspective, this looks like a bullish pin bar. So technically, we would be looking for a further move to the upside. So with this one, we'll have to see. This could just be a pullback, but if it doesn't break the high, if it gets stuck here, so right now it seems like it's getting stuck at yesterday's high. If it keeps getting stuck here, we could see a price move to the downside, but otherwise we could see price go back up into this 130, 160 area. So overall, this is not bearish. We are looking for a further move to the upside in pound Swiss here. Dollar Swiss, very, very strong. US dollar is quite strong at the moment, so looking for a further move to the upside. And we are looking at 1.0020 level, which is the next target here. So this is bullish for dollar Swiss franc. Pound yen, this is the one that we were trading, and I was talking about how we will looking for this to get filled here. It's finally coming back. I got stopped out at break even, then had to re-enter the trade in this one and then closed it out. So it was profitable trade, so no problem there. But it's so right now we are bearish. Price has moved down nicely. The inefficiency got filled, so the target here would be 14900 level. So the bottom of this here into this support and resistance. So we are bearish, and from 1 hour perspective, we could see, so pretty much for everything, just always be open to pullbacks and then a drop. So this looks bearish at the moment. Euro yen here, a very, we had talked about this important support resistance area. We haven't been at this top for since September here. So double top here, this looks bearish. We have finally broken our triangle to the downside. It could not break to the upside. So we have had a bearish engulfing close. Now looking for further drop. The target here will be a 13200, so 132.00 level, or slightly lower into 131.80 level. So bearish on euro yen. Pound yen looks bearish. Looking at 86.60 level, which is right about here, or slightly lower into the 50 level here. So overall, we are bearish, but I do want to see a break of this level before we turn completely bearish. But we've been bearish on this for a few days now, so looking for a continued move to the downside. Dollar yen here, we are into the highs. So this one, we have not broken out of this range for the last few days. So I would be careful with this one. 114.20 is the upper limit. So right now, I would think of this as a range. And once price gets into this, we could see a drop. But then again, it could go higher here as well, into 114.50 level. So even though this looks bullish, but we are in a range-bound market. This whole week we have been in this range, so I'd be wanting to trade this as a range. So once we get into the top of the range, 114.20 or 114.50 level here, I will look for a potential short. So this is probably not the best ones to trade there. I think there are other opportunities that are better than this one to trade. Euro Aussie here, we have finally had a bearish candle close, so we would look for a further move to the downside here, looking for price to come down into this support and resistance area, 1.5100. So looking for bearishness here. Last one, CAD Yen. Bearish candle close, looking for further move to the downside into this area, 88.10. So bearish here, but it's starting to get smaller, so do keep that in mind. But overall, we still have bearishness intact for this. Okay, so that's all I have. Anything to add or any questions? Oh, sorry. Looks like I'm talking on mute, so it looks like we don't have. Okay, so sorry, I was talking on mute there. We don't have a we don't have a trade room tomorrow, but I will see you on the webinar at 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow.